So like a lot of people get bored, right? Like for example, I was bored. I started. You sent that one video of what was the anime called? Ninja Kamui,
Ninja Kamui, yeah.
something like that. But I decided to look into it, and because it actually looked really nice, and I was like, let's see what all this is about. So I checked it out, and I was pretty impressed because that shit it exceeded my expectations in the beginning. The first 3 episodes.
You said it was better than Kaisen, huh?
Yeah, I liked it better than Jujutsu Kaisen until like certain parts it got kind of weird.
Yeah.
But I think everybody should check that anime out. If you're into anime, check out Ninja Kamui. So you're at the beginning part, right?
Mm-hmm.
What did you like about it?
I'm only on episode 1. Like, I just finished episode 1, so I'm gonna start episode 2.
So what caught your attention when that made you like actually say, "Oh, this is cool"?
I would say it's probably the animation. Honestly, it's mainly the animation, the action scenes. It has like a similar plot to like almost every other show or anime where like the protagonist, his family dies or something devastating in his life happens to where the protagonist starts reverting back to where they were before that, the good times, you know?
Like the past ends up bringing them back to where they were at that time.
Yeah, exactly. So it's one of those cliche kind of like stories where it's almost like that, but honestly, it was just the animation that kind of drew my attention. Like the fighting scenes were cool, everything was cool, you know?
What I enjoyed most about it was in the beginning, straight from the get-go, it starts with action. There's no talking.
There's no talking, no.
There's no talking or like bullshit. And you know how in anime they talk for days, bro. That's one gripe I have about anime.
Yeah.
They just be talking for days, bro. There'll be like a whole episode, no action, just talking. I get it. They're trying to like set a story up. But this anime, it's made by Adult Swim, by the way, which was actually caught me off guard.
It did kind of catch me off guard too, bro.
Because I was like, damn, who would have thought Adult Swim would make something like this?
We grew up watching it too. I grew up watching Adult Swim, Tsunami and stuff like that. You know?
So right from the get-go, there's action. So for those who want to check it out, it's about this guy. He used to be a part of a ninja clan in his past life until he decides to leave it. But then all the people that leave the ninja clan, they're getting assassinated and stuff.
Yeah.
So he's trying to get revenge. That's basically the plot. So the cool thing about it is they all have their own techniques they learn, which is kind of like, I don't know if you could call it sorcery, but it's some kind of techniques they have where they have certain powers they have.
Mm-hmm.
I liked his was pretty sick. The only part I didn't like was later on, these guys, they get these robot suits and they start fighting in robot suits.
Oh yeah, I haven't got to that part yet.
Yeah,
I'm on episode 2, so I don't know yet.
A lot of people were complaining about that.
Oh really?
I thought it was only me at first because I was like, bro, robot suits? Because it started off so nice. Like these guys, they got their own powers and stuff like that. And then the machinery got introduced. I was like, what the hell is this shit?
That's weird.
Because in one part, the guy, to fight the other robots, he has a robot suit made.
Oh, to kind of combat them?
Yeah. I was like, bro, you got these special powers. Why can't you just take them with your powers, right?
Cool because like he breathes out like this this black smoke.
Yeah.
That thing is sick, dude.
Yeah, like you got that, but why do you need anything else, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's where they should have improved because I think that made the show take a hit. I think they can still recover and make it sick if they revert back to him using mainly his powers because nobody wants to see like machinery. I mean, it's cool that the other antagonists have the suits and stuff because they don't have the powers, but they should at least make him take out the robots because I mean, if you think about it, if you had like sorcery like that and then you got robot suits, what would you expect to win?
The robot suits.
I would expect sorcery to win.
Actually,
because if you have like those powers where you get these like, I don't know how you can say, like you get some power from the other world or whatever you learned, right? You'd expect it to be more advanced than robotics. Yeah. So that's where I was like, man, what the hell? Because that's why in the beginning I was like, this is better than Jujutsu Kaisen. But then later on I was like, come on, bruh.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I don't like about Jujutsu Kaisen is they kind of over the top with all the powers and stuff.
Yeah, I do agree with that.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, I think for me, the reason why I like, and I'm only on season 2 of Kaisen, like probably halfway through season or episode maybe 10 or 12, is the storyline. Like I personally like, it's cool. Like I don't mind the action. Like I don't care if it's action packed or not. I prefer a good storyline.
Yeah.
That's what, for me, that's what gauges me in, like keeps me locked into the anime or even the show is like the storyline. Like everything else is cool.
What about with all the talking, when they do all the talking? Do you mind that, or do you like it because it's part of the story?
I don't mind it if it's part of the story. I do mind it when it's like some random filler episode that has nothing to do with the story. That's when I kind of mind it. Actually, in one of there's a Naruto, it's like that, bro. There's like a lot of filler episodes that has nothing to do with the story, or they go back to like refill in, like redo a recap on the story. I don't like those kind of episodes because it's just like an episode that they just threw in there because they wanted to. I don't like that. But if it's talking that's related to the main story, that's perfectly fine with me.
That was one of the things that I hated about Dragon Ball Z, where they would just talk for an entire episode.
Mm-hmm.
Like just talking about how they're gonna beat their ass, and like meanwhile you got another guy like supercharging his powers in the back for like 3 episodes.
3 episodes,
yeah, or trying to get his power. It's like,
Yeah.
what the hell is going on, man?
That is true.
Like, get to the action, bro. Like, you can cut the season literally in half if you just take out the bullshit parts.
Yeah, but what I think it is it's pretty much just like the director, or not the director, but the creator is just kind of like building up the hype for that is what it is.
The problem with that is when you drag it out like that, there's more chances of the show stopping.
Yeah.
Like, just get to the point, get the show over with instead of dragging it out for how long. Like, what was that show? Was it Death Note? Where the guy, he didn't get to finish, he died? The creator died, so they didn't get to finish the...
Oh, yeah, it is Death Note.
Yeah. So I was like, dude, what's the point of that? Or like Dragon Ball Z, they extended it so long that the guy ends up dying, and then the series is left like how it is.
Yep.
Whereas if they just get to the action, they can introduce more like cool villains and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, a lot of these animes have been sold to bigger studios, and one of the biggest studios that just got purchased out by Sony, Funimation. Funimation Animation got purchased by Sony, so we'll see if there's any cool animes coming out of Sony, or if it's just gonna be kind of whack. And Funimation actually had a lot of good animes, bro. Psycho-Pass, I remember I told you about that one.
You sent me the thing about Luke Belmar. I got to the intro, but I didn't get past that because I started looking into other topics for the pod. But that was one thing I wanted to talk about. So, give a breakdown on Psycho-Pass. What is it about?
So, Psycho-Pass is an anime that's in the future. That it pretty much, it's only in Japan, so it hasn't gone worldwide. The system that they implemented in Japan. It's a system that's based on your social score, and it's so pretty much like me and you could be walking around, and there's scanners everywhere. There's like psycho scanners and cameras that pick up on your hue, so and they pick up on your hue based off your mind, like on your mind, like how your mind works. So if you're having a stressful day, or if you're mad or grumpy, then your social score goes down. And if you're having a good day, or being positive and stuff like that, and like, doing that, then your social score goes up. So the higher your social score or your hue is, the better you are, or the better chances are you of you having a better job in the society and having a better life. If you have negative thoughts and stuff like that, or you're an overall negative person, the lower your chances are of having a good social score. And in fact, if you have such a low social score, then you have to go to rehabilitation centers, and every character has to take a pill in the morning to kind of help out with their hue, is what they call it. So the way the social score works is that it's like an AI platform. So the government controls that platform, and so you have like thousands and thousands and thousands of like hues built up into the whole platform, and so the system scans the general public based off the hue that the government has. So it can be rigged. So the government is not even the government, but the system in place controls everything, including the government. So it can get rigged pretty quick, and it's pretty much an AI. It's pretty much AI. It's learning all the time, which is crazy.
What's the main character trying to do in it?
The main character is essentially she's trying to keep peace and balance within the system, but also trying to later expose the system for the system being corrupt, because she thinks that the system itself is offing people who are not corrupt and keeping people who are corrupt in power.
What year did this come out?
This came out in like I want to say it came out in 2016 or 2016 is when it came out. I want to say it did, because I remember watching it when it first came out.
Okay, so it came after China introduced the social credit system, because I was watching a documentary a long time ago. Not a documentary, but it was a video by Vice, and they're showing how China has a social credit system where if you commit a crime or like things that they don't agree with, your social score goes down and then you lose certain privileges.
Actually, sorry,
or rights.
2012.
Yeah, this might have been around that time then, or even after that. But the social credit system, they're saying that if you get caught jaywalking, your social score goes down, and on top of that, you get put on a board where everybody sees your face. It's like a public shame.
So in this anime, it's almost the same way. So you walk around, and depending, like, say if you have a psycho scanner, is what they call it, you're able to see. So if I have like a psycho scanner, if I work, for example, if I work for civil system or the government, and I walk around with the psycho scanner, if I see you and you have a bad hue, I can see you what you've done and stuff like that. In fact, look, I even pulled it up. It's actually, this anime is banned in China, so you cannot watch this in China.
Because
you cannot watch this in China.
Because this probably came out after they introduced the social credit system, and they don't want people rebelling. Because this type of shit, it makes people rebel. Because look how many people China has if they all rebelled.
Yeah.
You know? Which is kind of ridiculous that they have laws like that. What can you do? It's kind of like a hard line to walk between making sure there's order and chaos. The same thing that's going on in China, I was saying, and I think in a couple of podcasts earlier, I was saying that thing, they're trying to introduce that here, because once all this shit goes on with all the people committing crimes and stuff, people are gonna start asking the government to restrict or come down on the laws and force people to abide the laws, right? Because what do you think happened when they orchestrated the 911?
Oh.
What happened after that? They introduced the Patriot Act.
The Patriot Act.
And then they started tightening up security.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think that's why I think it was all set up, because then it gave the government the right to intrude on people's rights. Because when you have events like this, people call the government to help them, and the government gladly steps in and starts restricting everything, and it leads to communism.
Yeah.
So after that, they started listening into people's calls. Maybe they're doing it before, but this was like a segue into spying in on people. Yeah. And being able to restrict what people can and can't do. If they want to throw somebody on a watch list, they can throw whoever they want on a watch list.
So I watched another movie that I just watched it a couple weeks ago. It was not WikiLeaks. It was, what was his name? Snowden.
Edward Snowden.
Yeah, I watched a movie on Snowden. It was like it was more of a Hollywood movie because it was more famous actors portraying it. But yeah, dude, it's crazy like how much the administration and how much they watch you, bro. Or even to this day, after watching that movie, like, you don't even know how much the government can tap into you, bro, and the systems they have in place to tap into you. Literally, right now, while we're making this pod, they can literally tap into the mic or the camera, and they can watch what we're saying.
That's what Snowden was warning about.
Yeah, so they can see all of that. Whether or not it's true that if Apple, because Apple supposedly is fighting against all that, we don't really know how true and tried these phones are locked down by these manufacturers that make them, you know, or if they play ball with the government and stuff like that. But even then, bro, there's still workarounds.
That brings up the point you were talking about when we were talking about Microsoft and Sony. About them restricting chat or listening in on the chats. Now there's a warning that they listen and record all our chats online.
Yeah. So for example, here's like one thing too, like, and I told him about it. So there was an article that just came out about how Microsoft has now let the government listen to lobby chats or listen to any sort of chat on Xbox Live, for them to figure out if there's any anything against the government or anything against anything terrorist. They classify it as terrorism.
They can classify anything as.
They can tell exactly. You can classify anything as terrorism.
Yeah.
But what's even worse though is that these like, for example, Sony and for like PlayStation Network and Xbox Live, they listen to you via AI, dude. I got, like, a few months ago, I was playing Call of Duty with my coworkers, and we were in a private lobby. It was just a lobby of us, and I was saying things on the lobby, that we always, we say amongst, like, guys and stuff like that. I don't want to say it because I'm not trying to get banned or anything, but I got banned from public lobbies. I couldn't talk on public lobby for 3 days. I got banned in a private chat. And I found out from my coworker, because he told me, he goes, "Oh, I forgot to tell you that you kind of have to watch what you say because you still get monitored by AI for bullying, for things saying things that are considered bullying." So even though you're in a private chat, you can still get banned or you still get listened to by these people, which is crazy.
And Microsoft was gonna do all this because Bill Gates, he owns Microsoft, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Bill Gates, he's a puppet of the higher order. Mm-hmm. He'll sell out everybody so fast. He's the one trying to, like, control everything. You're seeing how much stuff he's buying. He's one of the villains in this world, and finally people are starting to see. But the truth seekers, people that are trying to search for the truth, that knew there was something else going on, they knew from the get-go what Bill Gates was about, like around 2010. And it's funny how they're, like, monitoring so much. But I was watching this video it all started from looking up video documentaries on fentanyl, and then I started looking into, how you get suggestions for other videos? Mm-hmm. Well, the CIA and MK Ultra came up, and CIA was the one funding these evil operations they were doing on people. For example, all the drug running they were doing.
Oh yeah.
And all the MK Ultra experiments they were doing. They got away with a slap on the wrist, and meanwhile there's people that literally they lost their lives, they got their lives ruined, and yet they're the ones trying to listen in on chats. And they're not the ones being held accountable. That's the crazy thing. This is where the madness lies. Like, people are busy arguing back and forth about safety, this and that, but they don't realize the rug that's being pulled out under them. I was looking at the CIA drug running. I think these two kids, they stumbled upon something they were supposed to, and then the next day they were found dead or something like mm-hmm. that. And everybody knows, like, during the 80s or all that, CIA was the one doing the drug running, and they're the ones selling weapons, stuff like that.
Oh yeah, dude. It doesn't matter. They'll sell weapons to whoever.
Yeah, and yet the regular, like, the good people, they're the ones that are suffering because of stuff like this. And, like, the good people, they become naive, right? Because they're not. People are too stuck thinking about, like, they're stuck in their bubble. They're trying to look at things on the positive side. It's good to, like, not think negative, but you still gotta, like, be aware. So they don't see what the government's doing, and they fall for all their tricks, all the bullshit they spew on mainstream media.
Well, what it is that I think the general population, though, is that they kind of conform to their beliefs. So, like, if everything is confined to a box, they're not going to want to go outside the box or think outside the box on the what ifs. Like, for example, like, is the government really spying on me, or are they listening to me, or why is the government doing this, or why they're doing that?
You know how we were talking about realities last week? They want to be stuck in that other reality.
And people like that who think like that, they're all for the government when it benefits them, but as soon as something goes out of line that doesn't interest them, then they automatically say, oh no, the government is trying to screw you over and blah blah blah. And then the next day they go back and they go, oh okay, yeah, no, the government, they're doing good, they're helping me out, blah blah blah. It goes back to the thing, bro, like where what is it? People we can't have complete freedom because at the end of the day, people still want to have some sort of... People want to be controlled or have order in a certain fashion. Well, you cannot be 100% free because there's no order. I feel like for them, the government provides stability and order in a certain way, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So these people who are all, communism is bad and all this and that, dude, like at the end of the day, most of these democratic countries, they still have a form of communism within them. So it doesn't really matter, you know?
You always have to have some kind of order, but you gotta have someone righteous trying to lead the problem is all these people that come in power, they're all corrupt.
Yeah.
They're like ready to sacrifice people. Like we're all sheeps for the slaughter.
Oh yeah, that's the truth, man.
Like we were saying, we're all participating in a game we don't want to participate in, but we have no choice. At a certain point, some people say, oh, go independent, go live off in the woods or whatever. That's cool and all until the government decides that's not cool and they come after you and they take that land or put some kind of law in place. That's what they always do. They put some kind of law in place that ends up restricting people.
Well, what it is that if you go and live off the land and you go somewhere and live off the woods, the government isn't making anything off of you.
Yeah.
The government is not reaping anything until the government reaps something off of you, then it's cool. And that's what I find kind of messed up, you know?
Yeah, that's why I was just looking into fentanyl, how the fentanyl crisis is, because it's pretty. It's a unique situation. When do you remember? When was the first time you heard about fentanyl?
The first time I heard about fentanyl was probably about a year and a half ago.
Damn. I first heard about it in 2016.
Yeah, about a year and a half ago. I was really blind to all that stuff, dude. Like, I really didn't pay attention to all of it.
The only reason I knew about it was because when I used to do my hours in the hospital, they used to give patients in the ICU fentanyl. So it was like on a drip system, but they used to tell us they barely get a dose. And they would tell us that if you give them the wrong dose, you can easily have a person pass away on you. So that was the first time I heard it, and I was pretty surprised. I was like, what the hell? Fast forward 3 years later, no, I'd say about 2019, I started hearing about it hitting the streets. 2019 pre-COVID. And then during COVID, it just got worse. That's when I started hearing about all these deaths, about hearing about it being laced into other stuff. And the story behind it is it's being manufactured in China, and then it goes to Mexico, and it gets distributed on the streets over here. Yeah. But it goes from China, or sometimes I think it goes to hospitals directly. But the problem is it's going to Mexico, and then when people cross the border illegally and stuff like that, they're selling it on the streets here. So what was happening was, I think they said during COVID, the cartels before cartel wasn't supposed to sell in Mexico, right? Because they wanted to keep their side clean and they didn't care what happens over here. Yeah. So after COVID, the borders got locked up. From what I've looked up, they said the borders got locked up. And then so they didn't have it anywhere else to sell, so they started selling in Mexico. But that backfired because then people started getting hooked on the stuff over there, and then it's become rampant over there, so people are hooked on that shit. So the cartel, they were the ones dealing the fent, and now they're the ones opening up the rehabs over there. And they said that they're trying to put a stop to selling fent over there.
They are.
Yeah, and
They are, because they're trying to protect their own people. They want it to be over here instead of over there.
Yeah, and it's crazy. So you start thinking, you're like, how serious was this drug war? It never was serious. It was all about money. I think El Chapo, I think his son or somebody, they said there's no more fence that's supposed to be sold. I think people start getting murked, but I don't know what the repercussions are. But anyways, there's people that are coming from U.S. to Tijuana so that they can just chill over here, because I think they have more what's it called, people are saying they're more nice over there, and it's cheaper, because in New York they're saying they're profiting so much, but it's a crazy ass drug, bro.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. Like, all I know is that, from my understanding, like when I first heard about it, it just they called it like a zombie drug. Like it made you feel like a zombie. And then that's kind of when I looked into it more, because I thought it was more, when I first saw that, like, it made people turn into zombies. I immediately kind of thought, like, oh, is this like a pandemic kind of a thing, like people are getting like kind of like Among Us, like that. And I was looking it up and I was like, oh shit, what the hell is this?
Are you talking about when people are hunched over, swaying?
No.
That's not the zombie you're talking about? Like, what signs are you saying that they look like zombies?
Like, just hallucinating, just like look like they're just freaking zoned out.
Oh, okay, because there's one that actually makes them like stand, and they're like hunched over with the arms hanging by the sides. They're like half falling asleep. Yeah, so it's called Trank.
Trank. I've heard of Trank.
There's a guy on YouTube. He's pretty big time, and he just did a documentary on it too. He was saying that they're selling this shit on the streets. It's ketamine, the horse tranquilizer, mixed with fentanyl. And it's causing these people, they're like...
Yes, that's what I was saying. Yeah, that's it.
That's what you're talking about, zombies?
Yeah.
That's what I thought you meant.
That's what that, yep.
Fool, you were confused.
Yeah, I was confused.
That's what I meant. Like, so they hunch over, and their arms are like kind of swaying, and they look like zombies. And that's what Trank is. It's ketamine, horse tranquilizer mixed with fentanyl, and it's causing people to like be like that. It's crazy, bro.
Hey,
like the effect it has.
Do you think the government plays a role into this kind of stuff?
Hell yeah.
I think so too, bro.
Yeah.
I think so.
If they really want to do crackdown, they could crack down. But sometimes I think there's people in it that are getting their cut. Because, there's always... Because at the end of the day, people are people. So whether they're on the street or in the government...
Well, I mean, especially if fentanyl is in hospitals and pharmaceutical... Dude, all these companies are making money, dude.
Oh, hell yeah.
They're making money, dude. They don't care. At the end of the day... $1's $1, bro, for these people, for these companies, dude. Like, whether it's offing people or not, it's $1's $1, bro.
So I think his name was Andrew. He was asking people. He's like, who do you blame in this? Do you blame the manufacturers, the government? Because the government's giving out syringes and stuff in the Bay, so people can at least be clean and do what they need to do. So do you blame them? Do you blame the government for that and not doing enough intervention? Or do you blame the dealers, or do you blame the users? Who would you say you blame?
I blame the users. At the end of the day, I blame the users, because you have a choice. You honestly have a choice. It doesn't matter if you have it in front of you. At the end of the day, you have a choice. So it's not like they're forcing it on you. You have a choice. It's like what I've always been told. If you have a gun to your head, are you going to do it? Like, you still have a choice. Yeah, you're going to get offed, but you still have a choice, dude, to do it or not, Whether you... And I think people forget about it. Like, people are so quick to blame, it's the government that they're not doing enough, or they're supplying these supplies so they can do it, or it's the manufacturer's fault for producing this. It's the user, dude. It's the user that found a way around this stuff to do it in a malicious way, if that makes sense.
I think it's everybody's fault. From the manufacturers to government to the dealers, because everybody's... I get you're right in a way, but I'm just looking at it from my perspective. Yeah. I just think everybody's playing a role. Like,
oh yeah, for sure.
They're like selling. They're trying to make a buck off somebody's addiction, and then you got the manufacturers. They're trying to make money. It all goes into
circle.
everybody's making a conscious decision to do something, to participate.
Yeah.
You can either participate, you don't have to, right?
No,
So I
you
think
don't.
everybody plays a part. But like, say if I was hooked on it, that would be my fault. I'd blame myself.
Mm-hmm.
Which I hope nobody I know gets addicted to that shit, because that's terrible. Like, drug addiction is like one of the worst things I've seen.
Yeah.
Well,
Any sort of addictions, to be honest with you,
yeah,
is bad for you.
it's crazy. Like, okay, so I used to wonder why people were doing fentanyl. I didn't understand, because I was like, dude, what could be so good about it? I realized what was happening was they buying drugs, and the drug dealers they're trying to make more money. So they're trying to get people that faster hit. So they'll cut up their supply, and they'll like lace it with fent, so they can make more money.
Yeah.
Because when you put fentanyl in a drug, you have to have like less drugs to like get that high. Because fentanyl, you barely need anything to feel the effects.
Yeah.
So after I heard that, it all made sense. I was like, now I see why these fools are doing it. They're making hella money off of it. Like, it's crazy how much money they're making just off of like chopping up fent, putting it in drugs.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro.
Like, people don't even know what they're doing, bro. You could be thinking you're doing coke, but it's like laced with that shit, and the next thing you know, you're a goner,
You're
bro.
goner, yeah.
And they get hooked on that shit too. Like,
Well, that just shows how disposable lives are, you know?
yeah,
At the end of the day, like, having these addictions like that, like drug addictions, and it being laced with fentanyl, it only takes one hit for you to get fucked up, like, and not breathe anymore. It just shows you how disposable life is, man.
that's the sad thing. Like, all these people were people with dreams at one point, you know? They all had dreams, but then they succumb to like the environment, and it takes them, bro. It turns them literally into zombies. They're not there. They're like soulless, and it's sad because they don't get to see their families and all that shit. I was looking up MK Ultra.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what MK Ultra is?
No, I don't.
You haven't heard of it?
Mm-mm.
So I was introduced to it back in 2010. But MK Ultra was a government project where they were doing mind control experiments on people.
Oh, I've heard of this before. Yeah.
Yeah,
I've
so
heard
they
of
were literally abusing people and doing experiments on them just to see how mind control would work. This is how LSD got introduced, because they were using that as a drug to experiment on people. So all these people doing LSD and shit, thinking they're getting aligned, they're stupid. I wouldn't trust that shit, because anything that the government has their hand in, you know, that shit's spoiled. They don't give a shit.
Oh no, they don't give a fuck.
So MK Ultra, I saw a documentary by Fillion, I think his name is. He broke it down. There's these doctors, right? 2 doctors. They're doing MK Ultra experiments where they would shoot people up with some kind of drugs, amphetamines and barbiturates.
Mm-hmm.
And then they would play tapes and try to mentally break these people. So the way MK Ultra works is they mentally break people, and then they brainwash them how they want. So, you know, like, they're trying to restrict everybody, but they're the ones doing shady shit.
Mm-hmm.
Shady, and then nobody pays for the consequences. Dude, like, the shit, the experiments those scientists were doing, they're brutal. They were like, one guy, they were asking him how it felt. He said literally when they were doing those experiments, it felt like he was being poked by like 1,000 knives.
1,000 knives, yeah.
And then,
have seen that interview.
Yeah, and then he starts crying, and then one person, they have him in a room, and they're playing a tape like repeatedly over and over and over.
Mm-hmm.
And like, shit like that is crazy. So that's why when people say, oh, religion causes war and stuff, look at science. When is there a limit to anything? All these people, they want to blame religion. No, it comes down to human nature. Because these guys were actual scientists. One of them, they called him the Black Sorcerer.
Yeah, and at the end, like, I remember one time one of my buddies asked me a question. He's like, because we were having a debate. Oh, you were with us. Remember, you're like, how far?
I brought that up, the science.
Yeah.
I was like, if religion doesn't exist, or like, because nowadays morality, it comes from religion, or at least I want to say
part of it does.
Like, back in the days it did, especially.
Back in the days,
yeah,
it did.
so I think it stems from that. So now people think they're all wise and stuff. They think they're moral, but like, if shit goes down and there's nothing like to hold them accountable for morality, they'll go off the hinges and they'll start going wild. So like that was the point I brought up. I was like, look at all these scientists, right? They don't. If they don't believe in anything, where does their morality stop? We
Yeah.
as humans, we're like never satisfied. We always want to like go that next step
Well,
and shit.
what it is that everybody has their own interpretation of everything. So like, if it's religion, they'll interpret it in a certain way. They'll take it out of context. If it's science, then they'll get something, and then they'll start experimenting with it.
Yeah, that's the thing about science. It has no bounds.
No,
There's no bounds.
It is all human nature, man.
Yeah, like
It is all
those
human
people
nature.
that are like atheists and stuff like that like look up to science for answers. Oh, this is why this is the way it is. This science, that. They start like citing literatures and stuff. Science has no limit, man.
No, it's
And there's so many like twisted things happening in the background that, dude, the shit that we're talking about, we only know that stuff because it got brought to light. Imagine how much shit there's going on we don't know about.
mm-hmm.
There's like probably shit we can't even imagine. Like how we were talking about CERN, we only know about that because it was like brought up.
It was brought up, yeah. So I don't know, dude. That's crazy.
Yeah, that whole MK Ultra shit was crazy, bro. Like once these journalists start exposing like the government's hands and stuff like that, and these people end up turning up dead, bro. Like, cause if you think about those asylums and stuff, how much experiments they used to do on people,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Well, I mean, in those asylums, like in the loony bin or whatever you want to call them, I feel like there's very little regulation for people that are in there. So like, if you start doing experiments, well, I don't mean this is my theory, is that if you get a couple of those patients, and you start doing experiments on them, especially if they don't have any family close by, or anything like that, then how are you gonna keep them? How are you gonna keep that system in check?
Exactly. Remember that one lady? I don't know if it was a lady or a dude. He was like in a hospital, and he was like an organ donor, but he was supposed to die, but they kept him alive for hella long. They were trying to like get some data off of him, and it turns out he was experiencing hella pain.
Mm-hmm.
You heard about it?
Yeah, I did.
I forgot what the guy's name was, but then his family found out. They're like, "What the hell you guys doing?"
Yeah, they sued him.
Yeah, like that's how twisted this shit gets.
Yeah, it's crazy, bro.
There's some mad scientists out there, bro.
Yeah.
That's why y'all better watch out, man. That's like, damn, bro. It's kind of like, it's a trip to think about how much shit is going on behind the curtains that we don't even know.
Mm-hmm. Or not a lot of, or people just choose not to think like that, you know?
Yeah. Dude, some people are saying like these attacks that happen, you know, like Ted Kaczynski's. That's one of the guy Philion brought up, Ted Kaczynski.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, it turns out he was the Unabomber, right? It turns out that he had some kind of MK Ultra experiment done on him
Yeah.
earlier. So they're trying to link it to that.
That's crazy.
They got so much shit. They're saying Charles Manson, he was one of the MK Ultra subjects too. And now there's theories that a lot of these Hollywood celebrities, they're under MK Ultra too.
MK Ultra, yeah.
Yeah. So I wonder who's under the experiment. Like one of the signs is like the way their eyes twitch and stuff. Sometimes Beyonce seems like she's under MK Ultra because she would have an alter ego. A lot of these people, they have alter egos.
Alter egos, yeah.
And then so you're like, oh shit, that was probably like when they were getting MK Ultra done.
That's
but
crazy.
I don't know if that part's true though. But they're saying a lot of celebrities undergo that.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of celebrities, they say Beyonce's hella dirty. I knew she was a sellout. They said that Jay-Z was linked to Diddy, and then Beyonce was with them too at these crazy parties.
That's crazy, man. That just opened up. I honestly expected that topic to be bigger than what it was. They're kind of keeping it quiet.
Low key.
They're keeping it really quiet, dude. I'm surprised.
They're saying like ever since what's his name, Jay-Z got pointed out, or like ever since P. Diddy got caught up, they're saying that Jay-Z nowhere to be heard from, and he was the one that was at the parties.
Yeah.
Same with Beyonce, bro. I used to say Beyonce's evil back when I used to see those videos. Yeah. I mean, I can't say for sure she's evil, but you know, there's something twisted about her. She's not all there.
Didn't I tell you too? Didn't I tell you this was gonna happen? I said this whole Epstein thing is not as big as it was, and I bet the next big thing is coming out, and it did. P. Diddy thing.
Oh yeah, a lot of
yeah.
a lot of people are linked in it. That's why I was saying like
Yeah.
everybody's linked in it that are at the high top, because Hollywood is ran by CIA, and CIA is known to do all that weird shit.
Yeah, I'm telling you, bro.
It's all infiltrated.
Yeah, the whole Epstein thing, dude, wasn't as... It didn't blow up as much as I thought it was going to, but... And you know what's crazy? Neither is this P. Diddy thing either. Yeah. Either one or two things are happening. Either these people are paying off the right people to keep it hush, or the government, like you said, the CIA or whatever it is, these agencies are keeping it hush for a reason, because it's probably all tied back to them.
Bro, it's crazy how
It's
sophisticated
all probably
the game is.
interconnected too. I bet this whole P. Diddy shit is interconnected to Epstein, and Epstein's connected to some inner web of the government.
They're saying he was attached to the
And it's
Mossad, the Central Intelligence Agency.
Yeah, and it's all one triangle. Diddy, Epstein, government. Diddy, Epstein. Yeah, it's all interconnected.
There's hella names that haven't been named. There's still people behind the curtains doing that shit, bro.
And it wouldn't surprise me, bro, if P. Diddy was on that island, or affiliated with somebody on that island or something, bro. Or all of them. As a matter of fact, all of them, dude. All of them.
You know what's crazy? Like how these people have big fan bases. I know Beyonce had a big fan base, and now if anybody talks about these people, they got people brainwashed to the point where the fans attack people that are trying to bring out the truth.
You know who everybody thought was crazy too was Kanye.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh, dude. The crazy part was he named Meek Mill and P. Diddy. He's like, they're fake gangsters, they're pussies, this and that.
What's crazy is that everybody thinks, or thought that Kanye went off the hinges or got crazier and everything. But I feel like he's probably the most normal person, bro. Cause he was calling people out almost like 50 was, dude. That's crazy. And people thought 50 was like, oh no, that guy's just saying shit because he fell off. You know, he's not doing rap, and you know he's not doing this. But dude, he's calling people out. That's crazy, man. Like those people turned out to be normal, while everybody thinks that the other people were normal, but they're not. That's crazy, man.
Yeah, he straight up said those names.
Mm-hmm.
You seen Madagascar?
Yeah.
You seen that meme where they're like, the hippo, the lion, the giraffe, and then something else? They're going to that party, and then they're like, this is like a puffy party.
Mm-hmm.
And then that guy, they show him, he goes, I like to move it.
I like to move it, yeah.
So like in the beginning of that, they say that. And the crazy thing is we were kids, we didn't know what they're talking about. And one of the directors snuck that shit in there, bro. That's crazy how they like give hints about that shit. Dude. I wonder if that's that karmic retribution shit.
Yeah, and it's even songs, bro. Even songs, like rap songs. Like if you, ever since like Instagram started putting stuff out like that, like you could see, you can hear the lyrics that it's crazy, man. It's crazy how many small little hints were in these songs, bro.
Oh yeah, the shit Diddy was saying. And then Meek Mill had some sus lyrics.
Yep.
That's why I think the whole Meek Mill against Drake shit was staged. I think a lot of these beefs are staged too.
Oh yeah. They do it for one fan base. And then the other reason I feel like they do it is just to like generate more hype around each other and sell more albums.
That's why I think that Kendrick Lamar call out to J. Cole and Drake, I think that shit's all set up, bro.
Yeah.
Because it's getting everybody hyped up.
Yeah. It's so then the attention is on these two people or three people, and then all these people rush in to support their favorite rapper or artist, and then they start selling more albums like this.
More plays, more streams, more ads,
more albums coming out, and you know, like stuff like that, bro. It's a hype.
You know who jumped into the beef now? ASAP Rocky. I was like, bro, this fool's been like out in hiding for hella long. All of a sudden, he's dropping a diss towards Drake, and then people are like, damn, bro, all these people going after Drake because he's the king, this and that. I was like, bro, bullshit. You know what's crazy? You know how we were talking about like the Dagestanis, about how they're like, they just pray and fight and shit. So Hasbullah, I think he's from a town in Dagestan or something like that, right? There's an interview with him saying that Drake DM'd him, right? And remember how big Hasbullah was?
Yeah.
Dude, this fool is so humble. He said he left Drake on red on IG. He said that fool messaged him, bro, and other rappers, 50 Cent them, and then he said He's like, I don't even know who these fools were, and he's like, I just left them on red. I was like, that's how devoted these fools are. People like these, they don't fall for shit like that. That's how you
No.
gotta be, bro.
I have respect for a lot of those Dagestanis, bro. Like,
Yeah.
that's crazy, bro. Their devotion and stuff like that. That's like how humble they are.
Yeah, dude. Like, I mean, that's a big deal, bro. Like, if you get that much following and then you like decline someone like supposedly like at the top,
Mm-hmm.
because people I see, dude. I saw this video of this fool like almost crying because Drake shook his hand. It was crazy, bro.
That's crazy, man.
I was like, how you
much,
gonna put
bro.
another man
That's
like
too
that on the
much, bro.
pedestal like that, bro?
That's too much.
He was. I was like, damn, bro, probably didn't even wash his hand after he went home.
That's too much, man.
Bro, it's crazy. Like, people actually go to these fools' concerts like Drake, and he don't even care
and they
about him
spend,
and
like,
shit, bro.
thousands of dollars on concert tickets, bro.
And then this fool, he'd be like canceling on him and shit, bro.
Oh,
Yet
yeah.
these same people, they can't give their homies time like that, bro. It's crazy, bro. They put like Drake over their own homies and shit like that.
Yeah, that is actually pretty crazy.
Think about that shit, bro. And all these fools, they're just playing their part of the same system. Once Drake is done, somebody else is gonna come up. They're gonna call him the greatest of all time. Like when Meek Mill was coming up, people were like hella impressed by him. They were posting about him and shit, saying he's like amazing, this and that. And then you got videos about him like early, because I remember there were videos like sus videos coming about him back then, like that Puffy was calling him daddy and shit.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, what the hell? I mean, I didn't really think any of it because I was like, man, these fools in Hollywood are all weird.
Yeah.
I didn't like think of it. I was like, oh, another day, but like everybody else ignored it. Now all this shit is coming back.
Yeah, exactly.
The same thing that I talked about, the Kevin Hart shit.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Hart, he was at those P Diddy parties, and then he was exposing him. He said, oh, when P Diddy woke up with the Usher and shit like that, and now they're saying Justin Bieber, he was abused, but you know Justin Bieber's tied into that shit.
Yeah. That's crazy, man.
It's crazy, like this whole thing.
Were you at these parties too, Russ?
Well, you couldn't pay me to be there.
Lies, bro. You weren't paid and you were there.
Why, you were at the party behind the mask? You were looking at me?
Mm-mm.
Bro, it's part of those weird, remember that movie Eyes Wide Shut?
Mm-hmm.
How they got those masks? You were behind one of those masks watching? You're the one
No.
giving people entrances?
That sounds like that was the Rothschild parties.
Oh, they call it the Sir List Ball. We should talk about that.
Ball, yeah.
I don't know if I even said it right.
Yeah, it's that. That's what I was saying. Yeah.
Bro,
Yeah.
imagine how many of those they had.
This is the Rothschilds looking down at society.
So, hey, that's how I think people at the gym are once they hit their PRs and shit.
Yeah. They look at us like peasants. Peasant, who are you, peasant? I bench 195, peasant.
Yo, the human ego is a crazy thing. I was looking at that today too. It's wild, bro.
Yep.
Would you ever go to, oh, okay. Check this out. So, like, say you're up and coming, like, YouTube star, whatever, and they try to invite you to a party. Would you go?
Probably not.
Okay, what if, like, a high mainstream artist invited you?
No, because I'm really for me, I'm more about, like, I don't know, like, I don't really follow the crowd a lot like that, you know? Like, I don't really care, you know?
Yeah. I guess we won't know until we reach the top. Then we'll find out. I think, like, that's when people are actually tested, when they reach, like, the pinnacle, and then everybody's reaching out to them, what they wouldn't do.
Yeah, well, it's just, I guess it just depends, like, for me, like, right now, say, like, if I got invited right now to go to, like, a party or something like that, dude, I wouldn't go, because, one, it's kind of already too late. Two, I get lazy with stuff like that, bro. Like, that's not really my vibe anymore. Like,
What if it was, like, the people that are seen as celebrities?
Still, I wouldn't care. I'd rather be at home chilling, playing video games, hanging out or something, than do that stuff, bro. I can care less what the celebrities do.
Bro, I was hella surprised when I found out Hezbollah declined.
Yeah,
a lot of
that's
these
crazy,
fools,
huh?
they'll go because they'll be like, oh, okay, he got
What
this
about you, fool? I bet if Drake fucking pulled up and said, hey, you know what? Let's go to a party, bro. Let's go. I got you. everything's on me, you'd probably let's go with it.
I'll be like, get your ass up.
Calm down. You'd be saying yes in a heartbeat, my boy.
Fool, chill out. You'd start like singing him his own song lyrics.
I'd be like,
You'd be like, hey Drake, I need a one dance. Gotta hand it
I
to
would
you,
be
man.
like, Drake, I got my eye on you.
Yo.
I'm watching you because you're very trifling.
Oh yeah, this brings up the point, right?
Oh, man.
Half these artists, they don't got talent, right? At the top, they got ghosts.
Again?
They got ghosts. No, this is someone else.
Oh, is it?
They got ghost writers and they got producers. These guys are just performers. What do they have left, you know?
Nothing.
Yeah. So who do you think deserves more recognition? The actual rapper or the producer?
I would say the producer, man.
I think so too. I think producers are the most overlooked, bro.
Yeah, producers.
They're the ones that are making or breaking these rappers' careers.
To be honest, one of my favorite producers to this day is Metro Boomin.
I used to like him as
for
making beats, but then I didn't like him because I was like, this fool's a sellout.
Yeah,
He's in that song Ric Flair Drip throwing up the triangle.
Oh yeah, I know. Which yeah.
I was like,
yeah.
this like once they make it to that certain level, you know they're over there.
Well, besides the fact of that,
oh, just
like,
as like talent wise,
as talent, like that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying is talent. No, I don't really care about the money, cars. I don't really care about any of that shit, dude. It's what they got. But as far as talent goes, he's probably one of the best producers right now, bro. Or, you know what I mean. Like his beats, bro. They're fire, man. His beats are fire.
Yeah.
Honestly, his beats are fire. I think Burner too, for one. I like Burner because Burner, he writes his own music. He produces most of his own music. Yeah, he's good, man. His beats are good. His lyrics are good too. You know who Burner is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was popping off back in 2013.
Yeah,
That's when I remember him starting to pop off.
he still raps, dude, to this day. I like him, bro. He's probably one of my favorite rappers.
Yeah, I like listening to like rap songs, but I don't listen to rap like I used to. Cause after like learning all this shit, how it promotes all the bullshit,
Yeah,
I realized because it's causing people to like easily get brainwashed into like committing crimes and shit like that.
the only rap I really listen to is, and again, it's just Burner, man. Burner, yeah, because it's different. His rap is different than all this mainstream stuff, bro.
Yeah.
Because at least he's talking about like Bay Area stuff, struggle. You know, it's like it's relatable stuff. You know, in all reality, bro, like you know how we said like, oh yeah, if you meet someone famous, blah blah blah. Honestly, it would one of the if I can meet a famous rapper, artist, whatever it is, a celebrity like that, it would probably be Burner, dude, because he has an empire. It's built, bro. Like he went from being a rapper to an entrepreneur, and I want to know what kind of mindset he has. I want to know what feeds him to do that, and like what kind of tips and tricks he has and stuff like that. You know, stuff like that. Versus like some of these other guys, bro, like. And then I'm not hating because, you know, obviously they start off as rappers and or artists or whatever they are, or actors or sports guys, and they build a brand for themselves. But that's different, dude, because you already started off big, and then now you're just branching off because you either fell off or you're starting to fall off, so you kind of have to branch into other things, you know. But like versus like Burner, he's still making music, he's still big, but he still has his other empire, other businesses keeping him going and stuff. I find that pretty cool.
Yeah, if I find out like somebody's like sold out to get to the next level, I don't respect any of them.
I don't know. Neither do
A lot of these fools, they're linked
right.
to the industry by relation.
Yeah.
It's nepotism.
You want to know what I found out?
Hmm.
I forgot who said this, but this one entrepreneur said this. He goes, if you want to find out when someone is either not doing good in their industry or not selling out, but they're just not doing good, is when they start producing their own wine or alcohol, because it's a cheap way out of selling their own brand.
Damn, I didn't know.
Yeah, because they said alcohol is so cheap to produce that you can go to any distillery and just slap your label on it and just sell it at Costco or Sam's Club or whatever it is, Walmart, whatever, these big chain retailers, and people are gonna buy it because it's the rapper or it's the artist or it's the actor's brand.
Would you ever make your own alcohol and sell it?
No.
Yeah, me either.
No. Honestly, no.
You know who's come up I respect? I watched his video today, his documentary. So I was watching this documentary about the One Championship or the One Fighting League with Chatri. I watched his documentary. Like, his come up is inspirational, bro. He went from almost, they lost everything. He went from that to coming to the U.S. to making money, right? We were talking about how people get bored and all that.
Mm-hmm.
He went to Harvard. He barely got into Harvard. He graduated in business. Instead of taking the safe route, he was getting offered like $200,000 during that time by like a whole bunch of companies. Instead of taking that safe route, he went with his other friend that was in business. They made a company, and they made millions off of that, right? They sold that company. And he said he went to Wall Street then, and then he started making money over there. And he said even though he was making a lot of money, he felt depressed.
Mm-hmm.
Even though, like, you would think someone making that much money would be happy, right? He said he went from being depressed doing that to starting one, bro. He took a big ass risk. He sacrificed everything, and he started that up. And he was about to close it down, but now it's one of the biggest fighting leagues in Asia.
That's sick.
That's a crazy ass come up, bro. From going like there to now this, bro. That's insane. I don't know what kind of person you gotta be to do that, but props to him. Like, that shit was inspirational, bro.
Hell yeah.
So if you guys are looking for hope or inspiration, watch this documentary. That shit gives you like that positive mindset. Because I think that's one of the biggest things you can have in life is just having that faith. Because when a lot of people lose faith, that's when they're getting tested and they lose faith, that's when they fall apart. But if you like hold yourself together, you got to look at the positives and you'll come out on the other side.
Yep.
So that's the message I want to leave everybody with.
Look up to Russ. He's got it, bro. He got you.
Now look up to this guy, Drake's number one side, the right-hand man of Drake.
Mm-mm.
He's over there DMing everybody to link up with Drake.
No, Drake DMing me, and I said, nah, I'm good, bro. I told him, I replied to him and said, you know what, I want to link up with Russ. And he goes, I want to link up with you guys too. And I said, no, you can't.
Hell yeah,
This
bro.
roller coaster only has 2 seats.
Let us know your thoughts in the comments, what you want us to talk about.
Shout out to the homie Ajala.
Damn, bro, we start doing shout outs every episode.
I'm always going to shout out Ajala, bro. Oh, and the homie Savage. I know you don't really know me like that, but shout out to the homie Savage.
Shout out to all the homies watching.
El Patron.
That fool was supposed to be here. I don't know what happened.
AKA Free Gym Rat Manny.
Hashtag Free Gym Rat Manny.
We're going to make sure it's Free Gym Rat Manny.
Bro's looking outside the window, looking at the sun and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Take it easy, man.
Hell yeah. Peace.